All right, we're back to dump on PragerU again. Here with Half-Heartless Heathen Animancer again. I really shouldn't make a habit of this. This is unhealthy. But it's really fun. Makes me feel good. So, here we are.
There you go, yeah.
So, this time, I did remember to pull the live chat up. So, you guys want to get a hold of us? I am actually watching there.
You're going to have to read everything out because what you're sharing is mirrored to us, so...
Yeah, dude, you're gonna have to.
I don't know why you're seeing that in Discord, because not what I'm seeing over here.
It's all right. Luckily, I can read in reverse. You know, Justin's brain might not be big enough to comprehend this, but I can certainly read it all backwards. So don't worry.
I'll hold up my phone and then read the reflection.
All right. So, I don't know if everybody heard about Trump's executive order earlier today. I've been busy, so I haven't really taken a look at it. But it looks like he signed an executive order preventing online censorship, which on its face, I actually don't really disagree with.
You know what I have a problem with, though? The fact that my issue with this whole fucking story comes back down to the fact that you know, this was announced in an announcement. They announced that Trump was going to be making an announcement about 24 hours before he actually came out and said what he was going to be trying to sign into law. And I just look at things like that and I'm just like, you know, is it possible that they're just using this for 24 hours of people freaking out about the worst case scenario, a bunch of people getting at each other's fucking throats over, you know, scenarios that might not even happen, just complete hypotheticals, just to keep people wondering and fucking guessing? I feel like it was probably something done on purpose, honestly. That's just my opinion.
Realistically, yeah, probably. There probably isn't a significant amount of seriousness behind this. But, I mean, guys like
sure got people
the folks over at PragerU are sure on board with it, which is really, really funny. The government is telling private organizations that they can't do a thing with their own private organization. I thought this is something that the right just like
hated. Yeah, well, not when
at every turn.
it, though. Not when he's doing it.
Yeah, I would like full context here. Like, what is this executive order exactly? Define censorship. Can people not delete comments anymore? Like, what?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I skimmed like the first few paragraphs of this really briefly when I first pulled it up. But right here at the start, free speech is the bedrock of American democracy. Our founding fathers protected this sacred right with the First Amendment to the Constitution. The freedom to express and debate ideas is the foundation for all of our rights as a free people. Which, yeah, I fundamentally agree with. I'm kind of on board with Kyle Kulinski when he says he's a free speech absolutist. And he like really takes that to his core rather than just where the law applies. He likes to apply that as kind of a moral thing, even further than just what the law covers. And I like that. I like that idea. Down here, growth of online platforms in recent years raises important questions about applying the ideals of the First Amendment to modern communications technology. Today, many Americans follow the news, stay in touch with friends and family, and share their views on current events through social media and other online platforms. As a result, these platforms function in many ways as the 21st century equivalent of the public square. Hey, this is shit that I was saying 2 years ago. And it got like no traction. Everybody just kind of looked at me and was like, oh, yeah, you know, whatever. That's not actually a problem. And now the whole country is blowing up about it.
Yeah, because the Orange Man said it. one person can say
Yeah.
something, and if it came from anyone else, like any other politician or just any fucking person on Twitter or anything like that, people would be lambasted for it. But now that Trump talks about it, oh, it's a topic of conversation that we can have. Same thing with Andrew Yang and UBI. I'd just like to bring this up an example. Like Republicans started talking about it, Trump starts talking about it, and maybe like some people are actually having a conversation about it, like as a real thing now. But Yang was fucking mocked for UBI when he was running during the primary. I mean, a lot of
Right.
people laughed at him.
I mean, I have my disagreements with Yang and his UBI, but that's
Sure,
beside the point.
I have my disagreements with how he would implement UBI, but I think UBI
Right.
within itself is a good idea.
Right. But let's see. On to the next paragraph. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube wield immense, if not unprecedented, power to shape the interpretation of public events, to censor, delete, or disappear information. Sounds like Trump actually wrote that part. And to control what people
Disappear.
see or do not see. Yeah, they do.
Disappear
The way
information.
the way I put it a couple years ago is we've privatized the public square. And it's been done willingly because you used to be able to go out. In fact, you're still able to go out. Just go out onto the street, stand on the corner, and start saying stuff. Doesn't really matter what, as long as you're not using fighting words, trying to get into actual physical confrontations with people.
Sure. Yeah.
Hate speech is also not allowed, but there's few restrictions on what you can actually go say out on the street corner. Meanwhile, if you try to do the same stuff on Twitter, on Facebook, or wherever, yeah, you can get shut down. You can get shut down just because somebody at Facebook doesn't like you. You can get shut down because Jack at Twitter just decides, yeah, I don't want you on my platform. They did that with Alex Jones.
Okay, but
I mean, Alex Jones was like saying a whole bunch of misinformation, generally horrible shit. But
again,
I mean,
I still want to get
under this right here, they would not have been able to get rid of him.
Justin, you can go ahead and say what you want to say because I have.
I said I want to get to the meat of this. What is the actual law here?
Well, this is an executive order, so this isn't a law.
You get what I mean? What?
Yeah, but
so far it's just saying these things are bad, but not actually like. Where's the order part?
He just kind of going through what they've done. Yeah, go ahead. I'll look for it.
This is part of the issue is that we can't directly get what was fucking said. Like, if we look up like Trump's executive order, all we're gonna find is a bunch of articles like this, a bunch of fucking opinion pieces, and where you have to like search through like paragraphs and fucking paragraphs to find the meat of the fucking substance. That's why there's so many uninformed people, when it comes to politics in our fucking country. Because even if they have the know-how to go and fucking look it up, like they're gonna find it fucking buried in a bunch of fucking people's opinions, a bunch of people trying to sway you to feel a certain way before you even see the law. Is that not what this is?
What this is a hope to open it all up.
It seems like articles like this from all different types of news organizations are primarily that. Because why wouldn't they?
This isn't an article. This is from the White House. This is the executive order.
What?
Yeah, and we're a third.
I know it reads like an opinion piece.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's why I agree. There doesn't seem to be an amount of seriousness behind this. I think this is just like a thing that is only going to be in the news for the next few days, and then this is going to disappear. And then what I've been railing on about for the last couple of years, it's going to fade back into obscurity. Nobody's going to be talking about it anymore. But
that's sad.
Like he actually has something here. Let's see. Section 2: Protections against online censorship. It is the policy of the United States to foster clear ground rules promoting free and open debate on the internet. Prominent among the ground rules governing the debate is immunity from liability created by Section 230C of the Communications Decency Act. Wherever the hell that is. It is the policy of the United States that the scope of that immunity should be clarified. The immunity should not extend beyond its text and purpose to provide protection for those who purport to provide users a forum for free and open speech, but in reality use their power over a vital means of communication to engage in deceptive or pretextual actions. Oh, okay. This is absolutely nothing.
Wow. So they got people ruckused up.
Yeah, he's virtue signaling to, I guess, folks like PragerU, but that covers absolutely nothing that Twitter and Facebook and all of that covers, because they're not public.
Yeah, nothing's gonna change. Nothing's going to fucking change. That's unless the government wants to start their own social media platform, which
we're still not even halfway through this thing, right?
It doesn't even matter. Those who purport to provide users a forum for free and open speech, they never said that they do. None of them ever purported to provide users a forum for free and open speech. They have their terms of service. You have to abide by the terms of service. That's why they have those.
True.
So none of them ever purported to provide users a forum for free and open speech. This is an opinion piece.
Isn't an executive order like supposed to basically be a law?
Basically. What an executive order is supposed to do is the executive order is supposed to go in and tell the different organizations under direct purview of the president or the executive branch as a whole what they should do. So let's say immigration, for example. I know their department is under the executive branch. So if Trump went and said, we're going to do this thing in immigration, just like he did with his Muslim ban before, that's in his purview. Now it can get taken to the courts, and they can go decide what he's actually allowed to do. But ultimately, if it's under the purview of the executive branch, it's basically just a glorified memo that he sends out to the executive branch and says, hey, do this thing. This is how I want the shit to be done. It's not really a law. Effectively, it kind of is, but it's not really a law.
Why did it take a third of this thing to even get to something with any semblance near that?
Because
I feel like this could have been.
Section 1 was just an opinion piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
why is there an opinion piece on the White House?
Yeah, this seriously reads like
an opinion piece, except he's just projecting his own opinion onto the whole of the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, Section 1, this is all just an opinion piece.
It is the policy of the United States, but I swear he also said it is the opinion of the United States somewhere. Might have been wrong.
Oh, yeah, up here.
Yeah, and the Democrats chose Joe Biden to go against this, threat to our fucking democracy. Great.
The funniest thing is, like, reading through this, Trump didn't write this shit.
Yeah, maybe the disappear part.
No way Trump wrote this. I mean, he may have read it after it was written for him, but what was that?
Yeah, he might have had to word it out, you know?
So what probably happened was he was probably going nuts because, what was it, Twitter. Yeah, Twitter started putting misinformation tags all over his stuff, right?
Yeah.
He was probably going off on somebody about it and just had somebody there writing notes like, I want to write an executive order to stop this. So, here, write this down. He just starts his rambling, and then that poor guy's job is to convert that into something actually legible. They did a pretty good job.
Sad.
Nobody will ever be able to take anything seriously anymore. We've gotten to the point in society where the president of the United States He's using an executive order to vent about how butthurt he is.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
here's the thing. We've also reached the point, like, this is something that really hits me whenever I, like, think about, like, I just think about this fact. Like, our primary way that our president, the leader of our country, communicates with people is through fucking Twitter.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a big part of the reason why Twitter is as terrible as it is today. Why it's become the way it is. Like, why there's this huge fucking wall, erected up between the blue check marks and the rest of the fucking people. Because now it's the platform that the president uses.
Right.
I've got something I want to bring up to your attention. I almost forgot that I was going to bring this up, but you used to be able to apply to become verified on Twitter. The last time that they were accepting applications was November 2017.
Wow.
And the last tweet that they put out, yeah, you might be able to look up @verified on Twitter, and you can see their account if you want to take a look at it real fast. You can literally see it for yourself. But the last tweet that they put out, they're like, yeah, we're working on a new system for you to get verified. It's going to be a lot easier. And they haven't given any update in 3 years.
We've paused public submissions for verification. February 26, 2018.
But look at the tweet that they're replying to. That was in 2017 where they first clarified that they weren't doing it.
We're working on a new authentication and verification program. In the meantime, we are not accepting any public submissions for verification. Oh my god. Wow.
2017, dude. 2017. And by the way, they still have time to go around and suspend people like Howie Hawkins and his campaign account.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they can do that, but they can't accept
Let's get on that.
verifications. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not necessarily on the fence. I do have a position. I just think all of the major positions are stupid.
Sure.
So, mostly, I kind of side with Trump on this. Yeah, they shouldn't be censoring free.
Okay, but
I also see legally they are private organizations, and the way everything is set up right now, that sets up a lot of bad precedent elsewhere and all that. So
I
I
feel
think
like
we need to rewrite the underlying rules for some of this stuff.
I agree.
The only way around it, like the only way to just make it only apply to a few websites like Twitter, Facebook, maybe YouTube, would be if the federal government starts giving them some sort of actual funding just to justify them being under different laws. Otherwise, if you make something that's going to legislate them, it legislates everyone, and then it becomes literally illegal to edit or delete other people's comments. Literal chat moderation in any game or website ever becomes illegal. And
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I wouldn't be for that.
Okay, but legally, there can be no distinction there.
You know what? Here's something
Right.
I always find interesting. People come to this conclusion that because a corporation or a person has a right to do something that they should, you can still have the capability legally to do something and be a total fucking asshole if you do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's why I think like we shouldn't necessarily have to put this into fucking legend. Like, Twitter just shouldn't fucking be banning people for.
It's not on the government to fix this problem. It's on us as people to fix this problem.
Right. And that was kind of my whole point a couple years ago when I first started bringing this up. We did this to ourselves. We knew what Facebook was. We knew what Twitter was. We know what these platforms are, and we know that we don't actually have a say in how they're run. So when we go on and if we post something correct, if we post misinformation, if we just have a hot take that isn't received very well, all of that ultimately is not ours as soon as it leaves our phone or our computer or whatever. It's theirs. If I post some shit to Twitter, It's theirs. And they do with it what they please. I agreed to that. There's a TOS somewhere in here. I could probably find it if I clicked around.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way the system is set up right now, I don't see exactly how we can fix it without changing a whole bunch of connected systems.
Yeah,
And I don't know. Maybe some of these things need to be reclassified. So, like you said, if we made it so that it is now actually public speech on Twitter, how do we make it so that just in-game chat on some random video game isn't?
Yeah, like,
how do we separate those?
I
There's
have a question
probably a
for
way
you
to
guys.
do it. I don't have a good idea off the top of my head.
I don't think that this has been something that
would have
has been discussed yet. Let's go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say Twitter would have to volunteer to be under that extra scrutiny, and they'd have to get something out of it.
Not okay. Okay. Well, consider this. Do you think that people would move over to a social media platform created and managed by the U.S. government?
No.
Probably not.
Funny enough, I think people would be even more afraid of censorship.
Really? You think so?
I think the average person would have that fear.
Do you don't think a bunch of right wingers would go on there if Trump was like a big advocate for it and he was like, "Yeah, I'm actually gonna be on there instead going forward. Come on, join me. It's a fucking pop."
Maybe right wingers would, but now you then just have this division. You know, you have Twitter and right wing Twitter.
I don't think a right-wing administration would champion something like that. If they did, I think that's actually the only way it would happen.
You think so?
Well, yeah. Look at their base. Their base doesn't like to be taxed. Their base doesn't like to spend any federal money on anything. So if a right-wing administration,
unless Trump says it's something worth spending money on, like a fucking useless wall.
Yeah.
No, when he originally brought that up, I mean, it changed down the line, but when he initially brought that up, oh, Mexico's going to pay for it. He was doing everything he possibly could to make it seem like he wasn't going to be using tax dollars to do this.
Would it have mattered?
I mean,
I don't think he. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go. I feel like and Mexico's gonna pay for it. I feel like that was him trying to add like the icing on the cake to really get the applause. You know, like it was just him trying to go harder and fucking harder on that. I don't think that that's the first thing that he said. I don't think he said Mexico was gonna pay for it at first. That came later, right?
Yeah, the first thing he said was gonna build a wall. He didn't say how he was gonna pay for it. But then
I feel that like that was just him trying to add pizzazz, honestly.
Yeah, right.
Well,
right
no,
winger.
There
right
was
winger.
this.
Sorry. Go ahead.
There was this weird, very, very dumb economic idea that because he was going to renegotiate trade deals and all that, he was going to effectively get Mexico to pay for it. It was going to be tax dollars, but it was going to be stuff that we got out of the trade deal, so it was money we didn't have before, so effectively Mexico was going to pay for it. That's not how that ended up working out anyway. And now it's our tax dollars going to it.
That's some serious politician speak right there. Like, that's ultra deceptive in what's actually going on. Like, to say, because you know what people were thinking when they saw, oh, Mexico's going to pay for it. Like, oh, the Mexican people it's going to come out of their wallets instead. That's what people were thinking. That's what he wanted them to think too.
I remember at one time hearing that the plan was something like putting some sort of tax on any money sent from the U.S. to Mexico, like from people that were working in America and trying to send money back to family in Mexico. The idea was to just take that.
Wow.
Man, what a bunch of chodes.
But back to this. I mean, if we were talking about a social media platform set up by the U.S. government, I guarantee you, Democrats do it, it's dead in the water. Right-wingers aren't going to use it. If it ever ends up becoming a thing, it's going to be an echo chamber for Democrats.
Here's my problem with it. Here's my honest problem with that, but I guess actually I can kind of apply this same problem to even stuff like Facebook and Twitter. Like, it's gonna suck.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's federal funded. Just like the UI and everything, how the actual website functions would suck. And people would still prefer the private things because they'll just work better.
Yeah, I mean, if this was actually going to happen, somebody would have to come in, and it could happen in one of two ways. You either get some rich bastard that just wants to throw away his money and do something actually good for the world, and some happy rich guy could just come in and do that because they're a cool person. That's not likely to happen. We could also have it come out of something like the open source community, where you just have a whole bunch of people come together and say, you know what, these platforms all suck. Let's make our own. Let's just collectively fund it and go from there. It would be a very, very slow build, but it could work.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't happened yet, though.
No, it hasn't. I don't think it will. As long as these companies exist, as long as we have Twitter, as long as we have Facebook, that is going to severely disincentivize anybody from trying to come into that space.
I'm not saying that it's impossible to dethrone a giant social media website. Like, I mean, you saw what happened to MySpace.
Yeah, but to dethrone it in a very open way, I don't think is feasible. At least the way things are set up now. So if we had some other big corporation that came about that just knocked Twitter off of this pedestal that they're on, and we just ended up with another Twitter,
yeah, that
fundamentally changes. That can happen, and that has happened, even in this space.
Yeah, but for the user, nothing changes.
Yeah, for us, absolutely nothing changes.
I mean, hell, if anything, I think that the jump from MySpace to Facebook was objectively worse because at least MySpace had some cool customization things.
You know what I'd like? I think we should need to take the fucking hammer to websites like YouTube, probably Twitter, and Facebook.
Yeah,
and we need to break that. We need to break them up. We need to break them up, especially YouTube, which is most definitively a fucking monopoly. And that's a really unpopular opinion that I have. I said that on a panel once, where it was a bunch of fucking people talking, and not one person fucking agreed. I don't see how anyone can look at YouTube and not think this is a monopoly. That's the problem.
That is a problem, but
I think that
solving that problem is very, very hard, and there's no easy answer to it. I mean, look where we are right now. We're fucking streaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
How else do we get this out there? You stream on YouTube.
Exactly.
Or you pack it down into a whole bunch of little... No, because Twitch is even worse with the censorship.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you want the most open, most public-facing video, you go to YouTube. And
here's the thing: Twitch is not an alternative to YouTube because they don't have video hosting. They were talking. I've heard Twitch talking about this for 2 years. It's not going to happen. They're not going to do it. They like their niche. Like, it's not a YouTube alternative.
Even if it happens, it's not going to knock YouTube down. They would have to significantly change their policies over there. A lot of people are running away from Twitch because of the streaming. They're even kicking people off the platform.
Yep.
That end up on YouTube and have absolutely no problems with YouTube most of the time. Other than when
I used
YouTube
to stream
does
on
their
Twitch.
Usual crap.
I used to stream on Twitch. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, everyone tried for all of 5 minutes before they got censored.
Did Underhaven bail, or did you guys get dinged for something?
No, we just bailed.
Okay.
I didn't think it was worth the time investment.
Didn't
So
they
we moved
even
over to
use one
YouTube.
of your original episodes?
Okay, yes, because this is something that really fucking pissed me off about Twitch. Okay, by default, and no user would possibly know this, because if you've ever used YouTube before, you would expect that after you do a stream, the video is going to be there, right?
Right.
But no, you have to go into your settings, because by default on Twitch, it doesn't save your videos, your streams. So everyone's gonna lose their first fucking stream if they don't know about that.
Oh, geez.
Your first stream, which is kind of a special occasion. And it wasn't my first stream, because we had actually done some streaming on YouTube first. It was just a random stream.
Yeah, there is one lost episode of Underhaven because of that.
Bummer.
There's technically 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he still forgot the next time. He was high the first time.
No, it was much later. It was a YouTube issue.
Oh.
YouTube lost us an episode too. So yeah.
All right.
Oh, did I ever tell you about? No, I want to say this real fast, because this is actually relevant to the whole conversation when it comes to freedom of speech and shit. Did I ever tell you guys about the one time that I got a copyright strike on a stream before it went live?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was going to be us giving a commentary on the Democratic debate. Just want to make that clear. Like, if anything should be free and open for us to comment on and shouldn't get a copyright claim or strike, it should be us to be able to talk about the fucking future of our country. I'm just gonna say that. I don't think any more needs to be said. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that that was a copyright claim, like, by who?
No. Don't. I don't want you to make that misconception. It was not a claim. It was a strike. I couldn't stream. They took away my streaming.
Okay, but it was still a claim.
And
Like,
it was
still,
manual.
like,
and it was manual, right?
They claimed it when no content was created, and I still have that. I still have that video up, and you know how long that video is? 0 minutes and 0 seconds long, dude. It's an empty fucking video, and I'll never delete that video because I want it to stand. I want to stand up as a testament to what fucking happened, because I'd never heard about that before. And I tweeted about it, and I actually got attention from YouTube because enough people gave me attention and likes and retweets and shit. I was very fucking lucky, but not everyone's going to be that fucking lucky. And I'd never heard of anything like that before, and so did a lot of other people.
What was the response from YouTube on that?
Oh, I don't exactly remember. I will say that someone got back to me, and they actually did help me. And I was like, okay, well, thanks to this one person who actually fucking helped me out, because I don't want to shit on like everybody who works at YouTube. It's just like they're part of a fucking, corrupt, terrible fucking, system that is fucking the creator at every turn. But I do appreciate the person who overturned that, like, because someone saw that shit and was like, no, this is clearly bullshit, as they should have. Like, it shouldn't have even been a question. But I'm sure that it was not like the same person who flagged it down as the same fucking person who resolved the issue. And I feel like a lot of people make that mistake a lot of the time.
Most of the time, from my understanding, the ones that do the flagging when it just like happens out of the blue is usually the AI. The Google bot is just like crawling through YouTube and just says, nope, we're taking that down, we're taking that down, we're taking that down, we're taking that down.
And sometimes it's third-party companies claiming on behalf of bigger. I only remember exactly what fucking... I think it was a copyright claim from CNN. I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe
that's bullshit.
Yeah, no, it is. It totally is. They were going to take away my streaming for a week.
Yeah, like, I feel like, did CNN even get any negative? Like, did anyone even try to go after CNN for that?
No, because it's a one-way street. They can fuck you over, but if they do something like basically fucking illegal, like, they can just get away with it because YouTube's terrible fucking system. There's no way to fight back. There's no way to make it so that CNN can't do that type of shit again. There's no way to like give them consequences for striking me. If I strike down someone for bullshit reasons, do you think I would get fucking consequences for it? I sure as fuck would, and rightfully so, because you don't go around and fucking strike down people for bullshit reasons. That's not how you do it.
I'm reminded of that one time that some dude had done he was doing a let's play of some old game, and Family Guy used the clip of his YouTube video
Yeah,
in an episode, and then his original video on YouTube
got
got
claimed.
got copyright claimed for using Family Guy content.
Dude, fuck Family Guy. Fuck Family Guy, dude. I know that's more of like a YouTube problem, but fuck Family.
Yeah, you just hate Seth MacFarlane.
I really do. Like, no, here's the thing. I actually like Seth MacFarlane, but I hate that he wastes his talent on Family Guy. He's still wasting his talent on Family Guy. Like, he's actually a talented guy. He's got a good singing voice. He can be a funny dude, but he wastes his fucking talent.
Okay, but is he enjoying?
Making him
Does
money.
he think he's doing something good with his life? If so, that's all that matters.
I feel like he probably enjoys the money from Family Guy. I don't know, man, because he has other projects that he's worked on. Like, he's made that movie Ted. Still does that show, The Orville. It seems like he probably enjoys doing that show fucking more because it's more like, I don't know. It's more interesting.
Evidence he can
It's not
multitask. I mean, I don't know.
fuck Family Guy.
As long as a person feels, as long as they're not like actually like doing crime or some shit. As long as a person feels like they're doing something good with their life, something that makes them proud of
That's some
themselves.
fucking hippie shit, man. That's some fucking hippie bullshit.
Yeah, well, I have long hair, so.
Well, me too.
Well,
but it's all right.
Damon, if you disagree with that sentiment, I think PragerU actually might agree with you.
Oh god.
Here's
All
your
right,
people over here.
I take back everything.
Is this our segue? We'll move on to the next subject.
That's our segue.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
yeah.
I titled it "Dumping on PragerU," and we haven't even gotten to them in 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it took us an hour and a half to dump on him last time, so we had to pad. And the video we plan on addressing is half as long, so we had to pad the time.
All right. But yeah, to get out of all of that, moving from Trump's executive order, PragerU apparently has been censored by, I guess, Facebook, and I think I saw Twitter somewhere around there. Oh,
What
Twitter and
for?
Spotify. Okay, check it out. We've been banned from advertising on Twitter and Spotify. Facebook labeled us fake news and suppressed our reach. Over 200 PragerU videos are restricted on YouTube. Enough is enough. Stand up to big tech censorship.
Wait, what does it mean by restricted?
Okay, so to put all of this in context, I actually want to go over here to this video these guys put out not that long ago. I think it was just a week ago.
You know what I'm tired of? Honestly, here's an opinion that might not be that common. I'm fucking tired of right wing like organizations and people being censored like this because it validates in their mind everything that they're fucking saying. It makes them believe that all the fucking bullshit going on in their mind is true when they're literally being sent. Because think about how a lot of like
for years.
what?
I said that's what I've been saying for years.
Well, yeah.
You need to stop outright censoring these people because it just makes them feel like people are trying to silence the truth.
You need to make them.
It drives them underground and it makes them look more appealing because then other people think, well, wait, what are they trying to hide? What are people trying to cover up?
Yeah, look at Alex Jones. Like, some people probably take him seriously because he's been fucking taken down by so much big media and shit like that. It's sad. Imagine taking Alex Jones seriously. I just want to say that. Some people actually do. That's a sad state of affairs.
Imagine spitting on Alex Jones. Imagine taking the person that spat on Alex Jones seriously.
He's all right.
All right, so anyway.
He's okay. He's okay, honestly.
So anyway, PragerU is pretty mad at MSNBC for them saying that Americans are too obsessed with freedom. So I want to take a look at this.
The fundamental questions to me is what's going to be our relationship to government, the idea of government after this.
Okay, what the left says. And they're citing MSNBC as the left.
No.
I already find this hilarious. But
Yeah.
let's continue.
There is a primordial American tradition going back to the founders of being freedom obsessed, even though we're a country founded on slavery and genocide, being freedom obsessed to the point that we are always so afraid of the government coming for us that we are blind to other types of threats, whether it's a virus, whether it's bank malfeasance, or climate change, what have you.
What was that?
This is a right wing person saying that?
No. This guy's from MSNBC.
Oh, okay.
See that right down there in the corner. Oh,
okay.
I'm actually in the way. Sorry. Yeah, this is on MSNBC.
All right.
Okay, so
I don't disagree with this guy.
Yeah, what he's saying is
based on the title, based going in, I remember thinking that like criticizing an obsession with freedom sounded stupid because obviously you should want freedom, but no, he makes good points.
Yeah,
like
and we're gonna come back to this guy. Let's go on for just a second.
Or climate change, what have you.
Ever since Franklin Roosevelt promised Americans a New Deal in 1932, liberal politicians and pundits have insisted that the government must do more to alleviate poverty, increase economic security, and enhance the quality of life. But
those are good things, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh no, enhance the quality of life.
Yeah. Oh no, you're gonna remove poverty? You're going to increase economic security and enhance the quality of life? How dare you?
Man, if nobody's poor, that means we're all poor. Ever thought about it like that?
I really, really wonder who looks at this and says, yeah, how dare they do that?
Yeah, I think they're focusing more on like the animations. They're just like, whoa, that was pretty cool, you know? Like, that's how PragerU videos are. They're all style and no substance.
Yeah, I mean, the production value on these is pretty good. I've never had a problem with their cartoons. Content, yeah. I actually kind of like their cartoons.
But the word more implies there's a level of government activity that would be enough. In reality, however, there's never enough.
What?
Man, this guy's the most animated cartoon we've seen yet.
Yeah, they should have just cut him out and put one of their little cartoon people in instead.
Yeah, I agree.
This guy's scary looking. This guy could.
I know. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Like some sort of horror movie.
Seriously, he could be Count Alucard or something like that.
But he says something in just a minute that I'm gonna end up going back and highlighting again what the guy they're responding to said.
That's because the liberal theory and practice of activist government is an endless pursuit of a goal that can't be achieved.
So here, they're building up a straw man, not even based on what the guy was originally saying. They're just building up this idea. They're just building this idea of what the left is so that they can tear it down really easily.
You know what the left isn't? Just MSNBC, in fact.
Yeah.
Why are they framing activism as a bad thing?
Yeah. And what's funny is they've given away the word liberal to Democrats, which I think is absolutely hilarious, because liberals are the ones that want more freedom. And they're here trying to claim the people that in the name want more freedom don't want more freedom.
Well,
and they're
that's
the
the
ones
thing,
that
though.
actually want more freedom.
To maybe that's what it means to you, but to people who are right wing, liberal is a synonym for bad.
And they see it as, they see conservative and liberal as, takes on economics.
You think so? I feel like a lot of people.
Liberal economics would be libertarian economics.
I feel like that this is
which
the
is
thing,
more
right?
right wing.
So we all just said these things, all different. This just goes to show like that it means something different to nearly everybody, right?
Yeah, well, when you're talking about the average person involved in politics, don't listen to me because I have my head way too far into this stuff.
No, sure, but I'm just saying, like, the three of us, as who I would say have like varying levels of political knowledge, we all have a different perception of what this word would actually mean to someone who's putting together this type of video. And that's what I'm trying to say is that words as vague as liberal are just, they're meaningless. They're whatever people want them to mean. They're whatever the audience who's watching this video, they're just trying to appeal to people who watch these types of videos in general by using that word, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, but here let's hop back over to these guys, and let's see where I saw this earlier. They said something about themselves where they thought that PragerU is like an arbiter of truth or something.
Was it Dennis Prager that said that?
I don't know if it was him or if it was from the PragerU Twitter. But I saw something about it somewhere. I don't feel like looking any harder for it.
Dennis
Oh,
Prager is such a
no.
maroon, dude.
No, I was remembering this one. They were talking about Facebook. Never mind.
Fuck Prager. It's easy to lead a lot of weak-minded people astray with a bunch of, nice-looking animations.
Yeah,
It's a
I guess
real
so.
fucking disingenuous way of hooking people in. I see it as a very, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I see it as a very cynical way of trying to cash in on simple-minded people. But that's just me.
Let's watch more pretty animation, shall we?
Okay.
When was the last time you heard a liberal politician say, "Yeah, we solved that social ill"?
I can't remember the last time I've heard a liberal politician.
Yeah.
Agency now, zero out the budget and move on to another problem.
Yeah, we solved that social ill. Were we talking about social ills?
Apparently now we are.
Well, hold on. Listen to what this guy says.
For us, that we are blind to other types of threats, whether it's a virus, whether it's bank malfeasance, or climate change, what have you.
Are any of those three social ills?
No. I mean, like I said before, like I said, to you earlier today, arguably the thing with the banks is the closest because it is influenced by people, but those other two things, I mean, I guess climate change can also be influenced by people, but a virus?
Yeah, we got a pandemic. That's not a social issue.
There was no way to prepare for this.
Bank malfeasance.
There kind of was, but,
like you said, the closest thing is bank malfeasance.
What would you define as a social issue?
Social issue would be racism. That's a social issue. Anything where it's all grounded in culture and how people interact with each other, that's a social issue.
I would definitely argue
arguably the closest thing is the bank malfeasance.
I mean, in my opinion, I think that the Republican government that we have right now is definitely fucking is definitely trying to make it a social issue by Trump's going around and saying terms like the Chinese virus, trying to politicize things. Like, yeah, but this is on right wing people. This is all on the right wing administration doing this type of fucking fear mongering and shit and trying to rile people up and make this virus into a fucking partisan issue. Why the fuck is it a partisan issue in this country?
Okay, so the pandemic is a health issue. That's what that is. There are other
Sure,
issues
you
that are
get
stemming
what I'm
from
saying,
it.
though.
Right.
You get what I'm saying, though. Yeah.
But when you narrow down the issue with the pandemic, it's its own thing.
Sure.
Nothing else influences it. It influences everything else. The best we can do is try to stay away from it. Or once we actually can get on top of it, we hit it with a vaccine or any other treatments we're able to find out. Until then, we don't really have anything that we can do other than, like, stay the fuck away from me. I don't want to catch the thing.
I'm going to go grab a drink of water. I'll be right back. 1 second.
All right. So, with the pandemic, that's a health issue, and the health professionals are dealing with it as a health issue. Now, the social aspect of it comes from how everybody is reacting to it and fighting with each other over it. And you got one side citing the health issue, you got the other side citing an economic crisis, and they're squabbling over what the answer is. Nobody has a good one. And then there's third side, which doesn't have enough voices, which is to address the economic issue and the health issue. But apparently nobody wants to listen to that one. But yeah.
As far as though what the government could be doing in response to the pandemic, or at the very least to have prepared for it, I guess that's the more specific thing. I do gotta say that eliminating the pandemic response team probably wasn't the best move.
Oh no, that was a terrible move, and he was rightly called out for it when it happened, but not by enough people and not by the right people.
I had never even heard that he did that when it first happened.
Yeah, I heard about it, and like I remember saying something about it, but I have the biggest platform I've ever had right now, and I'm still nobody. So not like I had a very big platform to stand on a couple years ago. But yeah, these are not social ills. Now I know what they're getting at here. They're trying to conflate all of this into more stuff. So they're trying to connect all the pieces together.
I don't even understand this fake quote, though. Yeah, we solved that social ill. We're just going to close up that government agency now, zero out the budget, and move on to another problem. What possible solution to anything could be that temporary?
Remember what I said earlier about right-wingers don't want to start up new government agencies. They don't want to spend any money. They don't like taxes and all that sort of stuff. This is what that gets at.
Okay, but like what ideal world is he even thinking? Like, what issue could possibly involve having to make a government agency to address that issue and then be able to completely dissolve that agency and have zero upkeep on whatever that issue was?
So, one I've heard a lot, I don't think he mentions it anywhere in this video, but Social Security. That's one that you always hear that they want to cut, they want to eliminate. Apparently, I really haven't looked into it, but I'll just assume it's true for the sake of argument. Apparently, the original idea with Social Security was it was supposed to be a temporary thing. It was supposed to lift us out of economic crisis, and then it was going to be dissolved and move on, go back to things as normal. But it got so popular that it just became a permanent thing. And now we maintain it perpetually. Guys like this don't like that. So I think that is what this is.
I
getting
wrong
to?
in saying that one basically pays for itself though, because people have to pay into it anyway?
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Like people pay in and people get it back out.
Right.
I truly don't understand the complaint on that one.
Yeah, I don't get it. And also, it helps people. That's part of why old people are allowed to retire. I mean, in our current system, the way things are set up, what do you want
People
to
don't care
work
about
until you're 90 years old?
people don't
Die
care
while you're
about
greeting people at Walmart?
people don't care about a demographic. Most people don't care about a demographic that doesn't include them.
Okay, but everybody gets old at some point. I don't care
Yeah,
if you're not demographically old now, you'll be
yeah,
demographically old at some point, and if you don't
but
make it there, you died.
but
I don't
idiots
want to
have
be in
no
any of those.
idiots have no foresight.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I can't argue that one.
I love how Vince explained those 3 scenarios. That was great.
But it's true. Like, if you're young now, eventually you will be old, hopefully, or you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would hope to be old
Yeah.
at some point.
I feel like you're one of few, man. But that's a whole other topic. But it seems like a lot of people always say, "Put me out of my misery before I get to that point."
Really? You think that's the popular opinion? Seriously?
I like it.
And if it is, I don't
Maybe
really
it's
care.
just
I would rather be old. I would rather get old and, fight my way until I can fight no longer, type of thing.
That's a whole other philosophical debate.
Dude, I'll be playing World of Warcraft till I'm 70, man. I'll be fucking malding at that point, getting pissed off and shit like that. I'm gonna be doing the same shit I'm doing right now.
I can understand the argument if you start like losing your memory and crap, because like at that point, is it even you living anymore? Because you're not remembering it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's a conversation for another time. Jesus
That's
Christ.
what I was saying. That's kind of a whole philosophical discussion.
All right. Well, anyway, let's keep
the
going with
magic
this.
What you hear instead is that we need more. And more always sets the stage for still more down the road. America's
Okay.
Well, can
do
we
you know why that is?
Well, hold on. This is an issue I always have when people try to boil down like the different positions that different people of different political persuasions have to just the overly simple. The right believes in less government. The left believes in more government. That's not true.
Yeah, it's not.
If anything, I'd make the argument that the right wants the most government. Or at the very least, they want the most restrictions.
I mean, it depends on what aspect of the right you're talking about. Like, the left is all factionalized, so is the right. You have the authoritarian right, you have the libertarian right, you've got people more in the center that, like, you could arguably clump together centrist Republicans and centrist Democrats, and they all agree on, like, 99.9% of everything.
I guess here's the main crux of it then. People want to boil down the political compass to one axis.
Yeah, I actually had a conversation with someone recently about that.
You can blame the 2-party system for that.
I have a big problem with that because the 2-axis political compass already isn't accurate enough to describe position.
Oh, I hate political labels. I think that they're the biggest, thing in as like an obstacle in front of fucking progress is the fact that people, rather than have conversations about individual issues, we're too busy. Like, take a look at these two main parties. They're more interested in pushing their pet issues on things that'll probably never get accomplished, that they'll never fucking agree on. Meanwhile, things that we could probably all agree on, like getting better infrastructure for our crumbling fucking country, we can't even get that shit because even though both parties, yeah, they could probably agree on it, that's not what they're pushing. They want to push their pet issues and get their base, invigorated about that type of shit. So nothing ever
Right.
happens that's good for all Americans.
But like with the way that the labels split everything up, like the labels can be helpful sometimes if you've got people that actually know what you're talking about.
If you
But
go into a discussion and you give a label to someone who's going in like with good fucking faith, then sure. But a lot of the times, political labels on the internet are used by people simply as a means to straw man someone and what they believe. Like that's why I don't include any of my political identity on my Twitter bio, because I know that whenever I get into a conversation with someone and they have and I represent a position that they don't like, they're just going to straw man me, pretend I like, that even though I have a certain opinion on one conversation, that I must believe this, that, and the other because I identify as like liberal or left wing or X,
And
Y,
they're gonna
Z.
do it anyway. Someone, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Your profile picture. Someone just assumed you're pure white.
yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that because I can call that out and be like, well, I'm actually I'm biracial. Like you're not right. Like, but okay, go ahead. And dude, people love to pull I get that. I also get the anime profile picture thing a lot, which I always like. I like when I get that too because I can totally fucking prove that wrong. And barely ever do people have like a response for it. They usually just shut up after that. I'm like, actually, no, it's not from an anime. You can look it up yourself. Like, you can reverse Google image search it if you really want to be a fucking prude about it. It's not anime. Seriously, that's what I tell them. Like, I don't know, whatever.
all right, let's see. We're on track for time. We're at an hour and 10. We got about another minute of this video left. I think that can eat another 20 minutes.
All right.
Founding to not just establish a government, but to find a nation with a distinct character.
Wow. That's very broad. I don't know exactly what they're getting at. If I recall right, they don't really clarify either.
Healthy skepticism of government, even when it announces the intention to use its power benevolently, is a central feature of that character.
I'm sorry. What?
Character. Healthy skepticism of government, even when it announces the intention to use its power benevolently, is a central feature of that character. The "don't tread on me" spirit that animated the founding remains strong. Most
I should have guessed that's where that was going. Okay, so yeah, they're just arguing for total libertarianism, apparently. Is that what we're getting out of this?
I mean,
Yeah, I guess so.
Like
yeah,
government don't tell anybody what to do. Is that
Why else would
Is
they
that what
use
we
that
got here?
flag? I mean, the visual says it all. Why would that be the accompanying visual if that's not the main point that they were trying to get across, like a libertarian idea? I think it's pretty cut and dry.
this guy should buy a
Yeah,
brownie.
but let's see if get any more clarity.
Americans persist in believing that a government powerful enough to give you everything you want will also necessarily be powerful enough to take away everything you have.
Wait a minute. Who was talking about government giving everybody what they want? Like that the implication there is government give me money? I don't see
guess
how
so.
you could build a flimsier straw man. Like even the broken ideology of libertarianism can tear this straw man down of the left. I really don't understand what they're getting at here. They're not even arguing with the initial guy anymore. This guy back here. They're not even arguing with him anymore.
I don't know if it's just the backwards image on my end that's making this hard to follow, or if it's just so fucking vacuous that I just don't even have responses. Like we were pausing every few seconds on the last one to rip it apart for like 10 minutes straight, but I'm at a loss for response.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy enough to tear apart libertarianism, but then they like went really vague with it, and I was thinking they were getting into libertarianism, and then it became very, very obvious right here.
Yeah, I don't even know what point he's trying to make.
Yeah, I don't know. We still have almost a full minute left in this video. Maybe he gives us some clarity in his closing statement.
Including your freedom.
Freedom obsessed.
Conservatives believe that government power must be limited because the alternative is unlimited government. Liberals don't share this concern.
I figured it out.
Wrong?
I figured it out. He looks like Christopher Walken fused with Count Dooku.
Liberals don't share this concern. So they're very obviously not using the correct definition of liberals. Like they're conflating liberals with the left and all that. Democrats and the left and liberals and whatever else that they don't like is all covered in this. So liberals are supposed to be pro-freedom. That's actually where libertarians get their ideology from. They just take it to the absolute extreme and take government out of absolutely everything, which eventually actually leads to no freedom, ironically. But to say that liberals don't share this concern is pretty hyperbolic. Because there are a lot of people on the left, especially the people that are like more on the socialist end of left.
Sure.
That definitely share this concern.
I mean, what is the concern here? About big government, basically?
About government encroaching on civil liberties.
Then, if anything, it's left-leaning people that are the most concerned about this, because they're always the ones speaking out against crap like, what was it, the Patriot Act or anything else like that.
I'm incredibly concerned about that shit. That might be one of my biggest fucking issues, if I'm being real with you.
Yeah, same here.
I don't know if this dude would even know how to categorize us. I don't even know if we fall under what he thinks a liberal is.
I'm not left wing.
Huh?
I'm not left wing.
I've had conversations with people where I'll describe my position, and then they'll just come back with, "Oh, so you're a Democrat?" No, I'm not a Democrat. Well, sound like a communist to me.
What?
You could give the same position.
You have no idea where anything lies, do you?
You could give that your same explanation, the exact same explanation to like 10 different people, and you get a different answer back from all of them, what they thought you fell in line with, like in terms of political. I guarantee you'd get a different answer.
But also, most relatively politically uneducated conservatives will lump together Democrats, socialism, Soviet Russia, communism.
I remember like
anything left
all is like one thing.
I remember like 4 or 5 years ago when I first started using the term left libertarian to describe myself. One of the first people I ever told that to was like, "Well, that doesn't make sense. Libertarians are right wing."
Yeah, because I hate the idea that there's like, well, you've got libertarians, then you got capital L libertarians. You know, I don't like that. That's so stupid. I don't like that the right has tried to hijack the term libertarian. That's really unfortunate.
I mean, the right-leaning position of libertarian economics is just remove government from the market entirely, and then just let the free market gods determine what they're going to determine. Thing is, down the road, that ends up leading to a consolidation of corporate power. Corporations end up owning everything, and because the government is not allowed to encroach on private property, which now the corporations control, we land ourselves in basically a laissez-faire version of feudalism. That's where libertarian economics takes us. And we know this because under the current form of capitalism that we have, which is very highly regulated compared to what libertarians would love us to have, they already tried to take it in that. So, being a left libertarian, you're actually advocating for, usually, if you're like, socialism would be when the workers take control of the market. And that's generally where the left libertarian idea comes from. More individual freedoms. Workers actually control their share of the economy rather than being owned by the corporate owners above them. Kind of flattening out the hierarchy.
Yeah.
But PragerU and all of the people that they take on here to explain this stuff either don't know that or they're lying. Which do you think it is?
People like
Are
this.
Are they dishonest or are they just stupid?
I think it depends on who you're talking about. Like PragerU, probably dishonest. Followers, stupid.
Well, I have a hard time lumping in followers of stuff like this, like that. Like I said before, my landlords, they love this channel.
And like I asked before, do your landlords know about your YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, I've told them about it.
Have they ever watched it?
Probably not. Not their scene.
Mhm.
Well, let's hope they don't.
They know where I land.
Okay.
And I told them a long time ago that I plan on doing a response to something that PragerU does because I don't like anything they put out.
PragerU.
But yeah, I have a hard time lumping followers and like supporters of certain political figures together like that. A lot of that was happening with Trump supporters after 2016. A lot of people were calling like every single Trump voter racist. They hated like everybody except for yeah.
We've
heard all of that.
Even I was against labeling every Trump supporter as racist, but I was certainly not against labeling every Trump supporter as stupid.
I mean, I wouldn't label them all as stupid.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go that far either.
Yeah. I guess I'm a lot more.
There's a guy that I worked with. He's like more of a libertarian, very intelligent. I think misguided, but very intelligent. Now his family has money. And they have money in the stock market. They have property. So when things like the estate tax came up, I came in with the usual talking point, like, that doesn't actually affect you, right? And he actually came back at me and said, no, my family is actually worth this much. These properties that I'm set up to inherit are worth this much. Yes, this would affect me. I was like, oh, all right then. I mean, I disagree with you, like, on the overall measurement of what is good and where things should go. But I mean, you do know your shit. This would actually benefit you personally. It would fuck everybody else, but it would benefit you. You're right.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
Survival of the fittest, man.
He did know
good.
his shit, and I argued with him on the morality of everything, but he wasn't hearing any of that. He was like diehard capitalist. He thinks that government needs to get out of absolutely everything. So.
I mean, see, I know that now, if I ever somehow came into a large amount of wealth, like won the lottery, or just end up becoming rich due to whatever I may end up doing with my life, I know that I wouldn't really let that like corrupt me, and I know that I would be generous with it. But it's impossible to say if I was born into wealth, if I would or wouldn't be fucking selfish with it.
Oh yeah, being born into wealth and being raised with that around and being raised with a certain mentality. Yeah, that's usually where this stuff starts.
Again, not gonna say it's right, but not gonna say
it's
not
definitely
gonna
not
say
right.
A person like that should be able to be convinced otherwise.
The thing is, I think people should eventually look at their own worldviews and reevaluate once they gain a better understanding of the world.
Well, that would require gaining a better understanding of the world.
Right. And that's why I have a problem with stuff like PragerU, because they just blatantly share misinformation. Which,
well, I would say
actually, I don't even know that I'm very interested in going to the rest of this video. The solution is a bigger government. He's just going to repeat himself all through the rest of this.
I mean,
what was that?
I said it's been pretty empty so far.
Yeah. My main point with this one being attached to other stuff we were looking at is PragerU seems to be on both sides of this fight, don't you think? Get government out. But government, you should be coming in and telling these corporations what to do.
Yeah, that's always how. I mean, after a conversation, I don't really want to just make a lump, right wing thing, but generally, yeah, I mean, okay, we'll say Republican supporters. That's generally how they view it. Like, they claim to be against government intervention, but they're all for government intervention where it benefits them.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, fundamentally, I don't disagree with the direction Trump's executive order is kind of hinting at.
And what is that?
Finding where the public square actually is and making sure it's not censored. I don't know how to actually legislate that. I don't think an executive order is going to do it. So I don't know the actual answer. But I do think because the public square has moved from where it used to be, just going to the middle of town and standing on top of a box and yelling at people and handing out pamphlets, that used to be the way you spread your message. That's not how it happens anymore. And now it's all done under the purview of private entities. Those private entities at any time can just shut you down because they feel like it. I don't think that's right. Now, the law is not on my side, but I don't think that's right.
Sure, I don't think it's right, but I don't think the law is the answer. Like I said, it's that people have to solve that issue because the government just can't.
Right, but okay, if we figured out a way to classify social media entities like Twitter, the places you would expect to be able to go post your opinion and it just stay there. I would be on board with that, of having a specific classification for that, if it was accurate enough.
A few things there. One, why should only those companies be subject to government intervention where no other one is? Two, where is the cutoff? How do you define censorship versus just removal? Like, for instance, let's say they do have limited server space. Let's say eventually they have to enact some policy where, all posts older than 10 years are going to get deleted. How do you draw the distinction there between...
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, but why is that fine, but other forms of deletion aren't? Or what about just straight up moderation? Like, what if people are just, posting porn? And they don't want that on their website.
Yeah, the particulars, I think, would need to be hashed out. But it is a problem.
As much as I dislike and disagree with these big social media companies censoring anyone on their platforms, I morally don't think they should do it. But I absolutely do not want government intervention on it. Because that just opens a can of worms.
Yeah, but then if we're talking about just letting all of this continue on as is, these companies control our speech. Period. They're acting most of the time in good faith right now. But what's to stop them going forward? What was that?
I disagree that it's mostly in good faith.
Most of the time on a per individual basis? Yeah. They'll leave most opinions alone. You'll hear about certain ones, but most of the time, mainly because most people just aren't that big.
They're almost, Twitter at least, is mostly exclusively censoring right-wing people. And even when it's not objective censorship, like just to be little pricks, they'll remove someone's verified check.
Yeah.
Just
I mean the verified thing, I guess I could really give a shit. But with censoring right-wing people, like, how do you solve that problem? Should the right-wingers just, like, bail on Twitter? Set up their own Twitter?
Yes.
And then we just perpetuate echo chambers. That's all we're going to have. We're going to have right-wing people talking over here. We're going to have left-wing people talking over there.
Unless they are genuinely so against that censorship that the platform they set up won't do it. That's what someone needs to do. Someone needs to legitimately make their own social media platform that refuses to perform this political censorship.
No, they can't just write it into their TOS.
Huh?
They can't just write it into their TOS as simply as Twitter does.
What do you
It
mean?
would have to be something more substantial. A company at any time can change their TOS.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need a company. We need a person in charge that legitimately fucking cares. We need people that are upset about this to splinter off and make their own thing purposely to put an end to the censorship. This is exactly what happened. It's the private version of why people rebel against governments. Is it not? Was wanting freedom of speech not a big reason people founded America?
Right.
It's the same idea on a much smaller scale.
Yeah, but how do you fight back against a corporation that literally controls the speech?
They only control the speech because it's being put on their website. So make a different website. All of these websites started at some point. All
Right.
of them were nothing at some point.
How are you going to tell people about that website?
Obviously, the answer is social media. People aren't really, at least so far, no one's actually censored people advertising other websites.
Yet. I mean, what's to stop them from doing that? There is nothing to stop them from doing that. That's the thing.
If they end up doing that, that means it has already reached critical mass, and people must be talking about it enough that you can't put a fucking cork on it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Because really, we're looking at the political end.
For some reason.
Not everybody is.
For some reason, I cannot remember the name of that one website that was trying to compete with YouTube, but they tried going about making their money a different way and it didn't pan out and they fell through. But a lot of YouTubers were supporting them and telling them to go subscribe to that website, and it was actually looking like it was gaining some traction for a while. It's just they didn't have a very good way of making money. They didn't monetize properly and they ended up going under. But
right.
YouTube never stepped in and tried to censor them. YouTube never got on any of the YouTubers that were advertising this other website, even though a lot of those YouTubers were purposely making videos exclusive to that other website just to try to get people off YouTube and onto that. And YouTube still didn't step in and try to censor that. And that got some fucking traction. Meaning, if they were ever going to step in and try to censor it, it would have had to have been even more popular than that. And if you dare fucking try to do that and quash that, that's making news on other websites. People will hear about it.
All right.
Censorship only brings things to people's attention more.
Yeah.
I'm going to quote Serenity on this one. Can't stop the signal.
Just at what point are people finally going to be fed up with it? Because, like I predicted, this stuff with Trump's executive order, I give it 4 days maximum. I don't even think it's going to make it that long. I think largely people are going to be a lot quieter about it tomorrow. And by the next day, nobody's going to be talking about it. I give it 4 days max.
If you had asked me a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said that it's possible. We just need to get the right people on board, right people talking about it. But I'm so fucking pessimistic now, I don't even know if it would happen. It's just what I know needs to happen. If we're going to fix the issue, it's what needs to happen. I just don't know enough people actually have the guts to do it, because I have found that the people that actually do have enough sway to try to get that thing to happen don't know they have enough sway and think that they're beholden to these big companies and think that they can't break the mold.
Here's the funny thing. If Trump actually started to mobilize something like that, it would happen.
Honestly, yeah. It's terrible to say, but Trump, if something like that happened and it was brought to Trump's attention, Trump might just save the internet.
Told you.
I mean, as much as I hate everything else the guy stands for, I'd support him for that.
Well,
wouldn't vote for him, but
yeah.
But I would support that endeavor.
However, if he campaigned on that, I just might.
Oh, if he campaigned on that, that would be incredible.
No, he wants to.
Yeah,
he wants to be the first internet president without, actually doing anything for the internet. Sadly, so I don't think that'll ever happen. Would be nice, but that's kind of a fixed world.
he would go down in the history books if he did that. If he took down like modern social media and built up an
Yeah.
actually open social media where we actually had freedom of speech on the internet.
Dude,
Remember how
imagine if
all
that's
this shit started when what the hell was net neutrality? Remember when all that first started going down and we were all freaking out about it because ISPs are going to be able to do basically this. They were going to be able to gatekeep for individual websites like what happens in South America and shit. We were fighting so hard on that. And Trump would actually be the one that just with a few tweets would actually be able to mobilize a movement that could tear this entire system down. He's got that power. And actually, if PragerU is listening right now, and they actually want to do something about all this freedom and all of this censorship that they're complaining about, I know they can get a hold of Trump. I can't get a hold of Trump, but I know they can. If PragerU's listening, they need to get Trump on this.
Like, there is the slight chance that tweeting at him, he would see something. Especially if we try to get enough people to do it. Like, it's weird to say, but, like, I would totally be down to work with Trump to get this going.
The orange.
Yeah, I mean,
guy.
I'm very pessimistic on Biden winning. If Trump actually, like, made a move here, I'd get behind that. Like I said, still won't vote for Trump because I don't think he would actually vote for any other policies that I would agree with.
Nice job, by the way, to the Democratic Party, where this is like the type of conversations we have to be having. Yeah, good job.
Yeah,
Ooh, boy.
I mean,
ooh,
yeah,
boy, oh boy,
this should be easy. This should be very easy. It should be a thing like, oh yeah, Trump would be able to do it if he actually cared.
Yeah,
I have more faith in Trump caring about this than I do Biden. Or the entire rest of the Democratic Party, for that matter.
I never thought I would reach a point. Like, when I first started learning about politics, when I was like 18 and 19, I never in my life thought that I would reach the point, without the parties flipping again, that I would actually be considering voting for a Republican if they at least just got behind the right thing.
I'll vote for anybody if they get behind the right policies. I don't care who the hell they are.
Not even plural. He can stay the way he is on every fucking thing, and if he got behind this, that would be enough for me. Because it's not like it matters. We live in California. My vote, a Republican vote isn't going to matter for me.
I despise his economic positions. I will not vote for him on his economic positions. Also, why I won't vote for Joe Biden. I despise Biden on his economic positions. They're both terrible.
I'm encouraging everybody I know to vote for a third party.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I am probably still going to vote Libertarian for the reasons I've said before, which I guess at some point I should say on this stream. Don't worry, I'm not actually a Libertarian. I have like a Machiavellian plan.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think I'm an actual. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that'll work. But that'll probably be a conversation for another day.
Yeah, I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
Funny thing is,
go ahead.
Funny thing is, I thought this stream was going to be a lot more shitting on PragerU, and we did a little bit of shitting on PragerU. I think we were more disappointed in them than anything else.
Yeah, this was boring.
The PragerU
like not the
was
stream,
boring.
but
I really
PragerU
liked
was boring. Yeah.
I really liked the talk on Trump and all of this.
Yeah, that was interesting. The conversations were great.
The PragerU stuff was so empty. I couldn't even muster a shit, and all I could do was fart on him.
All right, then.
But yeah. On that note, I think we are going to stop farting on PragerU, because that wasn't even a whole dump. That wasn't even worth a whole dump.
Yeah.
But we actually did give a nod to Donald Trump, which I didn't think would end up happening on this stream.
Well, I mean...
But hey, it happens.
My
not on PragerU.
I only listed ways in which Trump could gain my support. He has, as of yet, not
Yeah,
given
I mean,
my support. He's just
uh,
in the interesting position that he could.
Yeah, we're talking about the fantasy land orange man, where he actually has like a good bone left in his body to actually accomplish something good for the American people. This is the same fucking person who campaigned saying, "I'm gonna lock her up, I'm gonna lock her up," and then the day after he fucking wins, he's like, Hillary's had it pretty bad. I'm not gonna persecute her anymore. I'm not gonna go after that locking them up. It was just locker room talk.
Why does your Trump impression sound more like Bernie than it does Trump?
Okay. I don't know. I can't do a very good Trump impression. I guess that's what you can derive from that.
Bernie impression when you try, though.
Yeah. I have done a good Bernie impression before. I'll save that for another time. You guys don't get to hear that for free.
Wow.
Well, maybe on the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
maybe.
now, though,
Done
think
for
we're
a
gonna
while.
shut it down.
All right.
Remember, if you want to see more of this, hit the subscribe button. Got a link to the Discord in the description. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to be streaming with a friend on gender identity and a few other adjacent issues.
Ooh, can I
So
be here?
we're still trying to set up a time for that. Probably going to be maybe around the same time, late afternoon, early evening.
Can I be here for that?
I'll ask her. I'll let you know.
Cool.